What's up, guys? Phil from RedEye Gaming here. Just doing a quick kind of overview slash review from Race Room Racing Experience from this past weekend. If you didn't know, they had a free-to-play weekend. All colors and tracks were available to play. So I'm just going to kind of go through and let you know what I liked, what I didn't like. Thing to note, maybe I missed it, but I was not able to play with the DTM 2014 cars. They wouldn't let you into the DTM 2014 experience. At least whenever I tried, it just said sorry, something went wrong with our server, and the cars were not listed under all cars and tracks in the regular general race for racing experience. So I don't have any time playing those cars. However, I do have DTM 2013, so I'm gonna guess they're probably somewhat similar. Also, you're not going to see any 80 AC 2014 cars, or you're also not going to see any Group 5 cars, as I own those, so I wasn't going to play with something I own during a free-to-play weekend. If you would like to see those cars, just let me know. I'd be more than happy to, put out a review on those and let you know what I thought on it. Okay, so a couple other quick things to note about this video. One, in all of the gameplay footage here, it's pretty much the first time I'm playing with that certain car track combination, and I basically started myself at the back of the grid with no practice and turned the AI down a couple notches compared to what I would usually have it at, and just kind of saw how the AI would, react to me coming through the field. Sometimes rather erratically, because as I said, it was the first time I was playing a lot of these car track combinations. Just a note for that. Okay, so Race Room Racing Experience. The first thing I would say is when I first played the game, the default force feedback it's different than other sims, and it's because they have certain, I'm going to call them canned effects, because they're not really they're kind of an effect they put on the force feedback, but it's not something that's really there. But once I turned those down, and some of them I turned down, some of them I turned off, the force feedback felt much better. Things like, I think, the engine noise and the shift response, things like that, those are ones that I either turned down or turned off, and it felt much better on my wheel. Also, the vertical load. Mine was at 300%. I don't know if that was the default setting or I had messed with it in the past and forgot about it, but I turned that down to, I think, like 110 or 120, and that made it much better in terms of how the force feedback felt. So don't give up on this game if the force feedback feels weird. Try out some different settings. Sector 3 has a forum with a bunch of posts for a bunch of different wheels. So if your force feedback isn't feeling right, just try out some different settings and you might like the game more. Okay, so now on to some of the cars and tracks that I really liked. In the background you can see me driving the Cadillac CTS from the GTR 2-pack. I'm pretty sure the GTR 2-pack is just GT2 cars or GTE cars depending on where you're from. These were easily my favorite cars that I tried out. I had the most fun, but I also really like GT racing, so that could be a big part of that. If there's one cars that I would be really wanting to buy after this weekend, definitely the GTR 2-pack. Here at Mid-Ohio, I can't even count the amount of races I did here with the different cars from this pack. All of them were incredibly fun. I will say the Cadillac was my favorite to drive, probably just because it's a very unique car in the fact that, it's not really in a bunch of other sims. I know that iRacing has the CTS, but I think they're a completely different class car in iRacing. In fact, I'm not even sure what class of car it's supposed to be in iRacing, although it might be, I think they're both the Pirelli World Challenge type version. Either way, great fun, especially here at Mid-Ohio. The American Track Pack is also one of my favorites. I really liked Mid-Ohio and Laguna. They were great fun with these GTR 2 cars. I am definitely thinking of buying the GTR 2 pack and the American Track Pack And that brings me to another, a great pro of race room racing experiences. I could buy those too, and then make my own custom championship and have my own custom championship with GTR 2. That's something that you can't really do in other games. It's either takes a lot of editing in Notepad of game files, or you just can't even do it whatsoever. And here it's just a couple clicks of a few buttons, and you're set. You're ready to go. Okay, so moving on now. Here is me driving the Daytona prototypes at Sonoma. Once again, a very well done track that was just recently released. I think maybe like a month or two ago. It's very recent. I was definitely a fan. Once again, American Track Pack, I am a fan of. Now, if only we had Sebring and Watkins Glen. Yes. One thing I wanted to point out is just how racy the AI on this video. I'm not gonna lie, this was my first try at this track with these cars, so I really had no reference point and breakpoints and whatnot. And the AI are just so competitive with you. They won't just give you a position. They won't just roll over. Like you'll see when I make a mistake, they just come and fly right by you. They're not afraid to pass you, which is something I'm really a fan of. The AI really wants to race you. As you see here, AI goes right up my inside. I mean, that was my fault. I had to completely mess up on my point, and then I passed him. They're pretty good at giving you room and time, so that's one thing. I like the Daytona prototypes, however, I don't know if I would buy them currently. They just seem to be a little bit older. They just don't feel as polished or well done as some of the newer content that is available in Race Room. I would also be much more compelled to buy these if you could do multi-class racing offline. I know you can do multi-class racing technically online. I'm not really into public server racing online, it's not my thing. I do like iRacing, but I feel like that's a little bit different. But in other games, I'm just not really into the online multiplayer. So you can't do, that would be really fun if you could do multi-class. So I'm hoping maybe that's something they add in the future, but for now you can't, so that kind of makes me not want to buy these, because running these with the GTR 2 and maybe even GTR 3 pack would probably be a lot of fun. Now, as much as I just praised the AI, I do have to say it's not a common occurrence, but it does happen. I just see here at Norris Ring DTM 92 cars, and they all just kind of get stuck, and I just go around almost the whole field. Once again, this is not really a common occurrence, but it does happen sometimes randomly. But it does happen, so I just wanted to point that out. They're not fault-proof, but they are very good and very racy, and I would say they're probably some of the best AI that are around currently. For the rest of this gameplay clip, I'm just going to let you listen to the sounds. That's one of the best things in Race Room, are the sounds. They really are great, especially if you have some headphones. They put on some headphones and listen to this game. And the immersion that you can get from this game, if you just get headphones with the sound and the AI racing you, is really great. So for the rest of this part of the clip, I am just going to let you listen to the sounds. Okay guys, one thing I do want to point out here, I am about to be wrecked by the AI. However, I really feel like this one was my fault. I didn't really have a brake point for that corner, and I braked probably way too early, and that's why the AI ran into the back of me. I feel like had I practiced more and knew, had some reference point of a brake point, they don't normally do that. They don't normally just run you off the track like that. Okay guys, so here I am driving the WTCC 2014 pack in the Chevy Cruze. I mean, touring cars are touring cars, right? I mean, they're a little bit less powerful than some of the other GT cars in the game. They're all front-wheel drive, which definitely does separate them from other cars in the game. I am driving here at the newly released Shanghai circuit. It seems like it's very well done as well. It seems like most of the newer content that's coming out for Race Room is being done very well to a very high quality, and I am a fan. I am honestly not really a fan of these cars, and they're not really my favorite things to drive, but I was having fun racing against the AI in this game. The AI do a great job of racing you, and it's a lot of fun. I do want to point out something that's about to happen in the video. And first of all, this corner in a front-wheel drive car is just interesting. That's the only way to put it. That long, just building up of the long corner in a front-wheel drive car. So here I am. We're coming on this straight that lasts forever in these cars. And I have a pretty good run on this guy, and I'm trying to outbrake him, seeing that I'm already on his inside. Problem is I kind of missed the brake marker and brake extremely late, and I somehow managed to outbrake 3 of them. Mind you, the AI was turned down because I was just trying to, this is my first run at this pack. But yet they all seemed to avoid me, we all avoid each other, no one blew up, and the race continued. A lot of other games, I feel like if I did that, that would have been race over, The car would have been done, we would have wrecked, and that would have been the end of my race. Okay guys, so I just wanted to show you here, the AI can handle some, tight corners. Here's the first corner at Monza in prototypes. We all make it through, no one implodes, everyone's fine. Just wanted to show you, they don't always get hung up like they did in that video with the Norris Ring, the DTM cars, but I did want to show that it is possible that it happens. So I just want to share some final thoughts on what I think of the game. This game has a lot of positives, it's really coming along well. I think the one negative you can take from the game is its pricing model, but that kind of is what it is. You kind of know what the pricing is going into the game. The other thing that I really disliked, and I hope they fix this, but I don't know if they will or not. Whenever you load anything, it just sits there and waits once it's loaded until you press any key to continue. Now, yes, it's not a big thing, but it's kind of just an annoyance because if I'm loading a race, once it's loaded, I just want to go to the race. I don't know why you have to click a button. It's more of just a small annoyance. It doesn't affect the actual game. It just, if you're sitting there waiting for it to load and you might not see it pop up to any key to continue, then, you could be sitting there like, why is it not loading? I hope they change that, but, that kind of is what it is. And now to what I recommend this, what I not. If you follow any of the packs of real cars that they have, like the ADAC, the DTM, WTCC, you probably would really enjoy it. I mean, this is one of the few games where you can get, the full pack of like a season, a championship season that you can do in sim racing currently. I mean, I know we have in other games where it's kind of, you can try and do a championships with cars, but you can just do like the full-on represented series of, those that I just listed, which to me is a very big plus. It's something that's kind of rare, so it's very fun to have like a full series. The other thing, if you like one of those packs in particular, go for it. I mean, the biggest problem I have is I like to race a lot of different stuff, but I don't want to buy all the content because it would be very expensive to buy all the content, and I don't play Race Room enough to buy all the content. It is a fun game. It's not as full-on hardcore simulator as maybe like R Factor 2, but it is a fun to just pick up and do a nice, you know, 15, 20, 30-minute race. And like I said, you can get the full championship packs of cars and tracks. Also, if you're looking for a way to get a bunch of tracks for really cheap, DTM 2013, when I bought it, was like $6, and I think you got 8 tracks plus the cars. So that's a way to get a lot of tracks for very cheap if you're just coming into the game. Also, you can keep your eye out. They have a lot of sales where things will be, you know, 50% off. Once again, another way you can get a lot of cars and tracks cheaper. In the end, go and try out this game. You can try it out for free. You can try any car for free. There is like a set time limit, but you know, you can try it out, see if you like it. I would probably recommend some of the newer stuff. Other than that, you know, give it a try. You know, let me know what you guys think in the comments. Until next time, I'll see you guys later.